I'm delighted to welcome my next guest to the studio. He's not only a Tory backbench MP, he's also the author of a new book, Covenant, The New Politics of Home, Neighbourhood and Nation. He is Danny Kruger. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We don't have very much time. I think we were going to speak to you a little bit previously on the show when we had a bit more time. So let's get straight to it. What is the covenant that you want to have with the British nation?
Well, I see you've got the social contract written up there. I'm actually contrasting what I think from the old idea of the social contract, which is a bit of a deal between the individual and the state. I think we're in a better relationship with each other than a contract. A covenant is an enduring relationship that has permanent and lasting commitments that we make to each other. So in a nutshell, I think our freedom, our happiness, and our well-being as individuals depends on our membership of certain relationships, so families, most of all, but also our neighbourhoods and our countries. And I think our politics has kind of gone wrong in this century and maybe going further back, because we've forgotten the importance of these identities, and we've focused too much, in my view, on individual liberation and treating people as unconnected.
But who does that? I mean, there were all those criticisms, complete misquoting of Margaret Thatcher saying no such thing as such is made up of individuals. There is a society and there is a neighbourhood, and we know that people who are happiest are people who feel a sense of community. I mean, it's amazing how many people said they enjoyed lockdown because they felt that people were there, people felt a sense of connection to their neighbours, people helping people, and elderly and other people in the local area, people relying on family. So who is treating this as no longer existing?
Well, you're right, and actually I think our politics needs to echo and to respond to that desire for community that we all have. And so I'm trying to go with the grain of what people want here. I think the problem is, in very well-meaning governments over many years have responded to social breakdown, I think, in the wrong way, by constantly trying to mitigate social problems and make it easier for people who are genuinely having a hard time to live without the deeper relationships and associations that make them safe and well. So our fiscal system, our tax and benefit system, makes it easier to live apart than to live together. We pay people more money if they put their children into long-term childcare rather than looking after them at home in the early years. They give you more money if your elderly parent is put into a residential home rather than being supported in their own home or living with you.
And we also know the impact on all those policies on people are largely negative. I mean, on the childcare issue, by the way, it's not people, and also actually looking after elderly relatives. It isn't people who tend to look after children and elderly relatives. It is women, and most of us not only want to but have to for our family finances to earn a wage to pay the bills.
And we should be making that choice easier for people. I mean, I do think government we all have a challenge here. We don't want to prescribe how people should live and what choices they should make, but I think we should recognise that many people would like to, particularly in the early years, look after their kids at home. They would like to look after their elderly parents at home, or help them stay in their own homes. But the money that we give all creates the incentives in the other direction.
There's also this move, isn't there, that the state takes over a lot of the roles of the family, whether it's the school providing breakfast for a child, or as you say, state nursing homes and the like, and taking over paying benefits for a single mother and her child, as opposed to where's dad and why isn't he paying for the child. The family unit has certainly been eroded by many people making policy who themselves, interestingly, who say marriage doesn't matter, family units don't matter, and yet themselves live in exactly those sort of married family units.
I'm afraid so. We do have a problem of the elite not preaching what they practice, and we need to recognise that most people would like quite a traditional life, but that doesn't have to be an unequal one. Like, your point about women is really important. I don't want to turn the clock back to an age when women had a specific role and men had a specific role. And I think your point about lockdown is interesting. We all, mums and dads, men and women, all suddenly experience what life could be like if we weren't living in a high-rise with a really difficult situation. So life is very hard for many people, but others recognise that actually a more connected, more local life, where you're seeing your children, where you can play a role in your community, where there's not just a constant rat race